Hi everyone! In this lecture, we will learn to use storyboards to design sign-in and sign-up views. Before diving into the lecture, let's change some settings of Xcode, such as font, color, and things like that, so that Xcode looks the way you like. Alright, let's take a look at the editor. It has a white background and a small font by default. Not everyone likes this default theme, so here's how we can change that. Choose Xcode on the top left, then Preferences. Now choose the Fonts and Colors tab. There's a few built-in themes that you can choose. We figure many of you might watch the lectures late at night. Thus, this dark theme might be a good choice. But it depends on you. You can also customize each type of text, like the font type, font size, and color. These are default settings for this particular theme, which looks quite good already in the terms of font type and color. To us, the font size might be a bit small, so we're going to enlarge them all. To do so, you can hit Command-A to select all of them. Then, go right below to change their font sizes by hitting the T button right here. In fact, here you can also choose their font family and other things. Alright, font size 11 is a bit small, so we're going to make it 14. You can see how the text is going to look right away. Alright, let's see. Looks pretty good, right? Okay, now let's get back to the main content of the lecture. Let's choose the main storyboard to start building the sign-in and sign-up views. Typically, we start with a design. Here's ours, which is designed in SketchUp. Let's say someone gave you this design, and the goal is to build an app out of it. In this lecture, we'll build out these two sign-in and sign-up views using the storyboard. This is a typical sign-in, sign-up format in mobile apps, with email, password, login button, profile photo, and when signing up and stuff like that. Great. That's our design. It's minimal and does the job well. Now let's go back to the storyboard in Xcode. Now what you see here is the UI view controller we created last time. This is where you visually design the app views by dragging and dropping UI components. All the behavior, like taking in inputs from users or presenting data to the UI, can't be done by this storyboard UI view controller alone. It must be backed by a custom view controller containing the code we wrote. So, let's delete the default view controller.swift file. We'll use the storyboard view controller we created to build the login view, and construct a custom view controller class to back it. Alright, so to create this custom view controller class, select the appdelegate.swift and hold Command-N. Choose the Cocoa Touch class. Because we use this class to back a storyboard UI view controller, we'll make it a subclass of the UI view controller class. You're free to name it whatever you like. Here, we prefer an informative name for this class. Okay, good. Now we have this custom class. However, the system doesn't know that we want it to be related to the storyboard UI view controller. So let's select the storyboard UI view controller. We do it by setting the custom class to the sign-in view controller class we've just created. Basically, now we can code up this storyboard UI view controller using the new custom class. Alright, good. Now, let's build the UI for the scene by changing its background color in its attribute inspector. Let's see. Actually, let's go back to our design to see what we need to do. We have two text fields for users to input their emails and passwords, and a button for signing in, and a button at the bottom right here for switching to the sign up scene. Alright, good. Now let's go back to the storyboard to build the scene. We'll drag those UI components from the object library. A quick way to find a UI object is to use search. We want a UI text field for user email, so let's type UI text field. Alright, here it is. Let's drag it to the login scene. Just drop it somewhere, we'll customize it later. We'll need a text field for the password field, so drag another to the UI view controller. Again, we'll customize them later, so just leave them there. To make everything look good, we'll need to use auto layout. and we feel like it probably is a good idea to use auto layout after we have everything in place. It's because auto layout is about relative rather than absolute positioning. Anyway, let's go back to the object library to search for a UI button for the login button, and drag it to the view. We also need another UI button for the switching button. Just leave it somewhere, we'll polish things shortly. Okay, now let's make them in good shapes. By the way, keep in mind that this storyboard is being viewed as an iPhone 7, as you can see at the bottom. Okay, now let's start with the email text field. In the design, we want it to spread as wide as the scene width. We hold Option, see how far it is from other views or objects in the scene. This is very convenient for building the UI. For app UI designing principles, we recommend you to refer to iOS Human Interface Guidelines and Design and Code. Here, we're just going to mention a few things. The UI elements should be at least 8 points from the margin of the scene. You can even make it 16 points or even 20 points. The two text fields should not be too close to make it easy to touch each of them. They should not be too far because they have a similar function. We'll come back to this in the next lecture. Now, to help users know what these text fields are, let's put down some placeholder text by going to their attribute inspector and type what you want to communicate to users. You can either say email or type your email or things like that. The goal is to let users know what the field is about and what they should do. All right, great. Now, Xcode has a cool feature that lets you choose a suitable keyboard for a text field. Still in its attribute inspector, look for a keyboard type. Choose email as this text field is for inputting emails. Each time users touch this text field, a keyboard optimized for typing emails with a convenient app character will show up. This brings a great user experience. For the password text field, if you want to hide passwords when users are typing, you can check the Secure Text Entry option in the text field attribute inspector. All right, good. Now, if users put in their passwords, the passwords will be hidden behind some kind of black dots. Pretty simple for great features, right? Now, let's go ahead and put down some placeholder text for this password text field. Again, use something short yet informative to assist user experience. Now let's customize the login button. Let's move it to right below the password text field and change its title in its attribute inspector to something informative. Okay. Similar to the text field, we spread it to fit almost the whole scene. If you want a narrower button, it's probably a good idea to use the default button size. Don't make it just slightly narrower the scene width. Now, go to its size inspector. The button looks too skinny, unbalanced now, so let's increase its height a little bit. There's no oracle definite number, just choose something that looks right. All right, good. Actually, it doesn't look like a great button now, so let's go to its attribute inspector and change the title color. There are more than one color formats. Here we use the RGB system. Our design is minimal, so we use a white title to contrast with the black background. But set its opacity to slightly less than 100% so it doesn't compete with the text fields. You probably want to make it brighter than ours. Now, go back to the button attribute inspector to set its background color. Again, here we use a white button to contrast with the dark background, but make it more opaque to highlight the title. You can use a color background here to match your brand or so. Next, let's customize the view switching button. We put it far away from the others as a way of saying it's not grouped together with the rest. But it's subjective. You can group it with the others by putting it right below the login button, meaning they all work together to make up the login feature. Now, let's stretch it out as we did to the others. You can set the same margin as the rest, but we leave it like it is for the auto layout lecture. Now in its size inspector, let's make this button less skinny so that users can easily touch it. All right, great. As before, in its attribute inspector, set its title to something informative, like don't have an account, or switch to sign up view, or things like that. All right, good. Now set the title to a white color to match with the others. We recommend you to make a similar to the title of the sign-in button, to maintain consistency. Keep in mind that different background colors might make the same text look different. All right, great. It looks pretty good now. Let's run the app to check it out. All right. Okay. All right, good. Things look a bit off, but this is a great start. The UI elements look smaller than they should be. It's because we're designing our app on iPhone 7, as you can see down here. But we run it on an iPhone 7 Plus. We all know that iPhone 7 Plus screens are bigger than iPhone 7 screens. And that's why the elements look smaller than we expected. This is the motivation for auto layout. That is, we can use auto layout so that we design on one screen size, but things look consistent across various screen sizes. For now, let's see what happens if we run the app on iPhone 7 too. All right. Loading. All right, good. Things look just like we designed them on the storyboard, but anyway, we don't want to design for many different screen sizes, right? All right. See you next time.